Welcome back to my garden. My name is Robin. I garden in Zone 6 in Northwest Connecticut. If this is the first time you're joining me, thank you so much. Please subscribe, hit that like button. It really does make a difference. So what I wanted to talk about this week is my top 10 favorite plants for long season color and interest, be it shrub, perennial, annual. I'm kind of doing a combination of the three of them. And I had a really hard time deciding on 10. And limiting it till 10, and you'll see that number 10 is about five different ones because I couldn't decide. Regardless of season, I tried to pick things that look good in the spring, summer, fall, and winter. Not everything is perfect in the winter because a lot of the things are deciduous, but try and think when you're putting in plants. Number one, always think about your zone. Number two, think about different textures and colors. Remember foliage. It might not be flowers. It might just be foliage like hostas. So let's get into it and see what my top 10 picks are. And then let me know and let everybody know what your favorite ones are for long season color and interest. And be sure to put your zone when you comment. Well, my number one plant for long-lasting, all-season interest and color is nepeta. Nepeta consists of more than 250 species, actually. It's actually in the mint family. Has square stems, opposite leaves, and whorled flowers. All species of nepeta are great for the edge of a garden bed, along a pathway, where you can actually smell them. Happen to love the smell. I've never had an issue where people have said to me that they've had an issue with cats actually eating it, even though it's called cat mint, very popular. So my favorite is Walker's Low. With all nepeta, you can just cut off the old stems if you want, and that can improve the appearance of the plant. But you can also just shear it back after it's first flowering, and the plant will stay compact. And you'll often get a second rebloom. Not always, but often you will. I really never bother to cut mine back. They're so easy to grow. They love average, well-draining soil. There are a lot of new varieties. Cat's Pajamas, Cat's Meow. I bought another new one last year. And I don't know, frankly, if it survived. Typically, there's zones like 4 through 7, 4 through 8. There are different varieties. Like I said, Fasciani is Six Hills Giant is an older one that got a little taller, like 3 feet wide. They all like full sun. They really bloom. They look great all year long. Doesn't matter what, whether you cut them back or you don't cut them back. I love it. You might remember I did an entire video actually on hydrangeas. So this is my number 2. From the time they start in the spring, whether you have the macrophyllus, the paniculatas, the big leaf hydrangeas, the Annabelles, the smooth hydrangeas, they provide interest from the minute they start all the way through the season. They're gorgeous in the fall. Their color just gets better and better depending, what variety you have. Depends what color they turn. You're looking at Firelight. This is Pinky Winky. I have a lot of different varieties. This is a Little Lime. I have some Tough Stuff, a Serrata. And then I have some oak leaf hydrangea called Alice. And this is what it looks like now. And then it gets, that gorgeous color in the fall, and it just continues to shine. Typically, the hydrangeas are zones like 3 through 8, part sun to sun. Just check the variety, check your zone. Very easy to take care of, nothing in particular. Makes great cut flowers too. A nice bonus. My number 3 is spireas. I hope you're not getting sick and tired of me talking about spireas, but they're my favorite. This is what Spirea ogon looked like the other day before it started pouring for a week. Beautiful little white flowers. Most of the spireas are either zone 3 through 8 or 4 through 8. This is Spirea ogon. It starts out, like I said, with these pretty white flowers. Then it turns this gorgeous chartreuse yellow. And then in the fall, a beautiful color. There are many others, and I have many of them. This is gold mound, very popular. Spirea gold mound starts out again. This is right now. I just took this picture with the yellow gold leaf, really the chartreusey green leaf, which color I love actually. And from there, it'll get a little greener. It'll get a pink flower on it. I have quite a few of these. Be careful with gold mound. I find it can spread actually, where the others don't spread. Newer varieties are completely sterile. So this is Big Bang. I have quite a few of those. You can see it here when it starts flowering, and here's a little close-up of it when it's flowering. Then a new one, like I said, sterile, is Double Play Doozy. It gets a real, this is it right now, and then it's going to turn with these beautiful flowers. This is Blue Kazoo, a really pretty blue-green leaf. So I have a lot of different varieties. There are a lot of things to choose from. Check your zone. Number 4 is hostas. Now, hostas are grown really for their foliage, not for their flowers. I know I try to cut my flowers off so the plants will actually put their energy into the vegetation and not the floral growth. They're typically zones like 3 through 8, partial shade. They come in a million different shapes and colors these days, different leaf forms, different colors, different heights, different sizes. I have quite a few different varieties in my garden. The foliage, we usually cut it back in the fall just because it just melts away. You actually don't even have to cut it, but it just melts away just like the daylily foliage does. But you can, cut it down. You can wait till the spring if there's anything left. You can divide them any time of year. They're very easy. Just take 2 pitchforks, pop them in the middle, and push them one side to the next. A lot of different varieties. Like I said, check your zone. Up at number 5 is the ninebarks, Physocarpus. I love these shrubs. I love the exfoliating bark. They come in many different colors and varieties. I have a Coppertina and Summer Wine that both have this really pretty small pinkish white, like 5-petal flower in the spring, very late spring. And then they're beautiful all season long. I have some that are darker called Diablo. Then they also come in, typically these are zones 3 through 7. So you also have ninebarks that come in like the yellow gold color. I have both tiny wine gold and Festivus gold. They're smaller shrubs, a little smaller than, the big ones like Coppertina and Summer Wine, which are a little bit bigger. I mean, those can get to be like, 6 to 8 feet tall. And but this is a category that I absolutely love. Again, very easy to take care of. Doesn't require much of anything. Will tolerate clay soil, which is great for me. Full sun to part shade. Just easy maintenance plants. Next up is a category called hardy geraniums. Now, don't confuse these with your, annual pelargoniums. These are zones 5 through 8 typically. I have a few different varieties. I'm adding a few new varieties this year. This is a Roseanne, which is probably the most popular of the hardy geraniums. Blooms May to July, but it can then bloom all year long is what I find. I've got a new one called Boom Chocolata. They're clump-forming geraniums. They grow in a mound, and they flower almost nonstop through the whole season. I can't recommend them enough. They're great ground covers. I also have a geranium espresso, and then, like I said, I'm adding 2 new ones this year. Bevan's Variety, I think it's called, and another one called a Bayakovo that's got a light pink flower, but this is a large category. There are a lot of different varieties. You might have to search them out because you're probably not going to find them, too many different varieties at your, local nursery. So search around. There are a lot of great online sites for plants like this. In at number 7 is daylilies. I could post thousands of pictures of daylilies. I have so many of them. I'm also a member of the Connecticut Daylily Society, where you can find all kinds of awesome new cultivars coming out all the time. Daylilies are just, again, mine are already up, and they're up a good amount, the foliage. And then later, as the season goes on, June, July, August, you'll have the flowers, typically zones 3 through 9. When the plant finishes flowering, cut the entire stem back to the basal foliage. And then when the plant is completely finished in the fall, you're going to cut it all the way down to the ground. Or like hostas, like I said, the leaves really just melt and you can just kind of pull them out. They can be divided. It gives you lots of new plants. They're heavy feeders, so give them a spring granular feeding and a summer liquid feeding. And there are now new reblooming daylilies that are out, things like Stella d'Oro. I'm sure you've heard of that one before, but there are many, many varieties in almost any color you can dream about, except for blue. I can honestly say I'm having a really hard time cutting this down to 10. This is agastache, blue hyssop, anise hyssop. I have blue fortune. Again, it looks gorgeous already in the spring with its really pretty leaves. They're really fragrant, attracts hummingbirds and butterflies, heat and drought tolerant, zones 5 through 9. Beautiful flowers. Again, there are a lot of new varieties of agastache coming out on the market. I'm going to try and get my hands on a few myself. I'm having a hard time debating between other things that I'm taking out of these categories, like coneflowers and black-eyed Susans and salvia and astilbe and heuchera, to try to come up with 10. We're getting down to the end. Number 9 are the ornamental grasses. Again, whether it's Coneflowers that you're looking at here, so you've got the yellow greens, you've got the blues, you've got the reds, you've got small, large carex. There are so many different varieties, whether it's a panicum, a panacetum, a calamagrotis, schizarium, whatever. There are so many different ones. A lot of them do well in heavy clay soil. They like it sort of, medium moisture. Most of them are typically zones 5 through 9. Again, they come in all sizes, all shapes, all colors. It just depends what you're looking for, where you're going to put it in your garden. Do you want it in the back of the border? Do you want it in the front of the border? Do you want something low? Do you want contrast? Do you want color? You're looking for blue? You're looking for red? This is morning light. One of my favorites is ruby ribbons. I've added it to almost every bed that I have. So the ornamental grasses are number 9. We're down to number 10 and I gave up. I'm going to call this a mashup. I could not decide. So the coneflowers, echinacea, they come in, again, all sorts of colors and shapes. They attract butterflies and bees and hummingbirds. They're really a staple in any garden. Pink ones, white ones, multicolored. There's some new ones. I'm going to try a new one this year called One in a Melon. I have a bunch of different white ones, White Swan, Powwow White, Price's White. This is Green Twister. They're just in endless varieties, and every company has new ones. Next up is astilbe. From right now, they're already up. The flowers last a really long time. They look great even when they're finished with their color. They last till the very end of the season. Next up is heuchera. And again, they come in a variety of purples and chartreuses and darker purples and new varieties. I'm trying this year. I have a couple new ones here that I'm trying. And it's just, again, another endless category. Salvias, whether they're perennial salvias or annual salvias. This is plain the blue salvia is one of my favorite. There are so many, and you definitely need to add those to your garden. I hope you found this informative. Please take a minute, subscribe, hit that like button. It really does make a difference, and I'll see you in the next video. Hope you learned something. Soon the garden will look like this again. I can't wait.